Collin, how are you doing this morning?
It's bright. There's this giant orb in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna close my window and just go back to bed, but we've got a morning show to do.
We do have a morning show to do. Collin, this is number 11 of Collin and Curtis in the morning.
The big 1-1.
Welcome, everyone. And this one's going to be a quick one. We're going to burst through this stuff. It was not a big news week. We got a couple things to talk about. It was a big week for our site. We had a lot of things go up on the website, but not a lot of news to talk about, Collin. So to start things off, there's been a date for this game that's kind of been out there, like with like retailer listings and stuff, but I don't know if it was ever actually confirmed. But it has been confirmed today. Corpse Party Blood Drive is coming to the Vita on October 13th. It's getting a retail release, which I believe is the first time Corpse Party has had a retail release in the U.S. Previously, the two games before it came out on PSP.
Yeah.
I reviewed both of those games. I loved both of those games. I'm very excited about Blood Drive. Collin, I don't know if you know anything about the Corpse Party series.
I knew that the other ones were on. This is me gonna attempt. They were on. I knew they were on PSP.
Yeah.
Isn't it like you're kind of in a haunted school or something like that? Okay.
Heavenly Host Elementary, I believe, is the school. Maybe not elementary. I don't know. You're a bunch of kids in a haunted school, and some real dark stuff happens. It's weird because they had the first one, and I think the second one wasn't like a direct sequel. I don't remember exactly. My memory is a little hazy on the second one, but I think the second one's story was like this alternate story, or I don't really remember. But Blood Drive, I believe, is the first actual sequel. Okay. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I'm super excited about that. Collin, I don't know if that even interests you at all.
I want to say it was a long time ago. I mean, when the first Corpse Party came out, I had heard good things about it, and I think I had watched a couple trailers. I really don't remember anything about it right now. It still has me a little interested. But I mean, if I ever have time to get to that or something, like it's that one, like, oh, I will play that someday maybe, and then you never do.
Well, Corpse Party's still a few weeks off, but we do have two other things that are just coming next Tuesday, so just days away at this point. Collin, what's one of those two games?
One of those is Dungeon Defenders 2. Will be in pre-alpha on PS4 on September 29th. This game's been in early access on PC for a little bit. And what was it, 2011 Dungeon Defenders 1 or something like that? Was it
11 or 12? Okay. I want to say 2012. I don't think it's been that long. Well, man, God, it's 2015, Collin.
Yes, it is.
I think 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
And yeah, it's a kind of a tower defense game, but you also kind of get to run around the map and kind of fight alongside your defenses. I actually played this game at PAX South, and there's some written stuff I had up on psnstores.com. I enjoyed it. I was one of the early people to check out the PS4 version. Everybody else on the show floor was on PC.
And this is more of a MOBA, isn't it? Or it's kind of moved in that direction from just the tower defense?
Actually, I don't believe it is anymore.
Oh.
One thing that the developers talked about was when they originally announced, I mean, some of that still might be in there, but what they talked about when Dungeon Defenders 2 was originally announced, they made it like kind of like a MOBA-like. And they kind of had a lot of outcry from the fans. And so they actually took all of that and kind of, as I remember, like went back to the drawing board and basically kind of started rebuilding the game to be more like Dungeon Defenders 1. I don't know how much of that MOBA influence is still in the game, but when I played the game at the event just in January, it felt, kind of like Dungeon Defenders 1, I'd say.
Okay. So the thing with this, now Dungeon Defenders 2 is going to be a free-to-play game when it does fully launch for real. However, because this is a pre-alpha for PS4, you have to buy into this to get access. So it seems there's going to be three packs that you can buy for currency, for like in-game currency, gems, accessories, things that you would like normal in-app purchases or whatever that you would buy anyways. If you were spending money on this, and the pricing structure seems to be $15, $25, and $75. I'm not sure what each give you, but 15 is kind of that is your entry fee. If you would like to play this in a pre-alpha state, which is interesting because I believe this would be, I mean, other than like having betas, we've had betas before, but having like an actual game like this launch in early access on PS4, I believe that's the first. I could be wrong. I do believe that's the first game that would do this, and have it kind of structured as an early access game that you might see on Steam, where you are paying a specific fee, sometimes a higher fee than normal, to actually get access to the game, which is interesting.
Yeah, I know Xbox kind of had their announcement at E3 about game preview and stuff, and it seems like maybe this is like Sony just doing it, but not like maybe just. I would say it's more of a trendy entertainment, the developer kind of thing more. But yeah, it's because I mean we've had like other free to play betas like PlanetSide, DCUO, Blacklight, Retribution, whatever, and those weren't pay, but you could actually make payments in the beta. But to actually play the game, it wasn't. You didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I know Eric was our big like resident Dungeon Defenders fan, so I'll be interested to kind of get his take on this and see if this is something that he ends up checking out or maybe waits for it to actually release fully.
Yep.
And then our final news story, Prismatic Solid, is coming out also next week on PS4. This game has kind of bounced around. I think it like launched on like the 360 years ago. It's been out on the Japanese PSN store for months now, for a long time. It's kind of this really trippy bullet hell shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Just it's it being just super trippy. I don't know. Are you a kind of a bullet hell shoot 'em up fan, Collin?
Not too much. I've played some of the things like Cinemora. There was a time a while back where I was on kind of a shoot 'em up kick, and I bought the Zoldner X Himmelstrummer, whatever. So every once in a while I get into kind of a groove and want to play one, but yeah, who knows? It looks like the price is $10, and that's kind of that's a good spot for these games.
Yeah, it might be something I'd check out for sure. It's definitely like it's one of a few games that have been on the Japanese PSN store that I've noticed whenever I've looked on it. Yeah. There's another game called One Upon Light, which I think is coming out in October, that has just been out on the Japanese PSN store, I think fully in English, for months now. And it's just like, okay, I wonder when that's coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I've always thought it looked really cool. I've heard of this game. I've known about this game for a few years now, at least. So that should be a fun one to check out. Collin, that is essentially like that's our big news this week. I again, wasn't a lot of stuff going on.
I blinked. Did I miss it? That was quick.
Yeah, you might have. I can go through it again.
Sure.
No. So no main topic again this week. Not really, just anything jumping out at us. Although I do have something in mind maybe for next week, but we'll get to that when next week rolls around.
Well, we might have the PlayStation Plus lineup next week.
Oh, that's true. Oh, we can't break tradition.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that said, there was a ton of stuff that went up on the site this week and across our YouTube channel, our regular website, podcast. I'm just going to rapid fire through this. Collin, tell me yes or no if you recommend Beyond Eyes.
Ness.
Okay. So Collin reviewed Beyond Eyes for us. You gave it a 3 out of 5, right?
Yeah, it was a 3 out of 5. It's I would recommend it. Just real quick, I would recommend it if to someone if you're kind of an experienced gamer, and you like the games like Journey, Flower, stuff like that. I would say maybe pass. But if you're kind of like wanting to introduce games to a younger person, or have someone that's like, hey, I really want to show so and so what I do, or I play video games and what they're about, I really think in that respect it'd be good. Yeah. But I think for kind of a a person who knows kind of what games are and what to expect from a game, I think you're going to be a little disappointed if you check it out, though.
Okay. We also have a review for Leo's Fortune, which was done by Mark, who is our new reviewer.
Yep.
That is his first review. He's already at work on a second review, so that'll be coming soon. So check that out. And then Colin, I can finally talk about these games. Persona 4 Dancing All Night, I reviewed, gave that a 4.5 out of 5. I love that game.
Nice.
I think if you like, this is a game for Persona 4 fans. If you haven't played Persona 4, it's probably I'm assuming a lot of it will be lost on you.
Yeah.
But it's a really good rhythm game, other than just being kind of heavy with fan service relating to Persona, and it's nice to have something Persona related while we wait for Persona 5. Speaking of 5s, Disgaea 5, which is out in a week and a half at this point, also reviewed that. Also gave that 4.5 out of 5. That is the best Disgaea game. Those games just keep getting better. Like game mechanics wise, they continue to improve and continue to introduce new things just to make the overall game better. And I mean, that just makes Disgaea 5 the best Disgaea game, I think. Cool. Sometimes you take certain characters from certain games and you take certain stories, but I feel like if you're hardcore into Disgaea, you just kind of rush through the story and get to the end game stuff, because that's kind of where you're gonna spend the majority of your time. And if it is not up now, it will be up sometime today. Soma, I have played through and finished. That review will be up today. If it's not up already, it'll be up today. I like that game, but there's a lot of, it's spurred me to think a lot about what your expectations are going into a game, and not so much at not meeting those expectations, but the game just not even being the thing that you expected it to be. Which I think could be an interesting conversation in the future. Yeah. We also have 2 dev chats. We talked to Collin from Funkatronic Labs about Nova 111, and then we talked to Graham from Drinkbox Studios about their upcoming game Severed on the Vita. And so both of those are up. You should check both of those out. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. Whew, Colin, there's YouTube videos for Disgaea 5. Lots of stuff going up. Lots of stuff going on this week.
Some Disney Infinity videos to check out.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. No third one this week. It was just very busy. We'll return next week with more Disney Infinity stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. But Colin, that is going to do it for this week's episode of Colin and Curtis in the Morning Rapid Fire Edition.
That was a quick episode 11.
Quick episode 11. Almost hit 11 minutes. We're a little bit over. You can follow us at psnstores.com on Twitter. You can follow Colin. Where can they find you at on the Twitter?
You can find me at Bossman C Crowder, 2 S's, 2 C's.
And you can follow me at PS Penguin on Twitter. If you'd like to support us in any way, if you like the podcast, if you like this show, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/psnstores. If you have a question, you can send that to podcast@psnstores.com. Specify it's for the morning show. If not, we'll take it for the actual podcast. So either will work. And Colin, that's it.
That's it.
Do you wanna close us out?
I would love to see at some point. We're even Extra Life's coming up.
Yeah.
We've been talking about doing some stuff. If we could make it happen, I would love to have a dance-off with a green screen and then put Persona 4 Dancing All Night Dance-a-thon edition footage in the background, and then maybe play to some of that Hatsune Miku music. Write us in if you'd like to see that, because I'm just signing us up for failure right now. But have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya.